I see you guys are 2-1. Came off a big win on the road last week against Tuscarora. How's everything been going this season? And is it up to par, or you know what I mean? Are you some things that you feel like need to get better?
I don't think we're reaching our potential.
Hmm.
We're struggling a lot with consistency up front. Um, just keeping the regular group of kids, and we haven't had an offensive line consistently in the last 2 years. We've had a different makeup almost every game. And this year, I thought we were going to finally get over that hump, and then injuries happened. Your our center went down with a concussion. That's 2 weeks. He's out. Find another center, move the right tackle to center, move somebody in the right tackle. Left guard gets hurt, move him.
Yeah,
It's just been, and
plus
that's, yeah. And so I don't think we've met our potential in that respect. Defensively, we're playing pretty well. We changed some things up, but um, just trying to get some things out of the kids that we need to get out of them. And we're not disciplined up front. We're not disciplined as a team, and I lay that on my shoulders. But we're having too many penalties, too many personal fouls, things like that. I mean, we're aggressive. I get it, but we have to be able to call it off also. So
is there a youth on the line? Is there youth around that you feel like is causing some of those discipline issues, or do you think they're just ready to get after it?
I, I'd hate to blame COVID for everything, but it seems like just as a school, I think we're struggling. I think a lot of schools are struggling, and the social aspect I think was really impacted these kids far more than we know. And when you miss out, I mean, we did a team meal. We do a team meal every week, and so as I'm going through it, I'm thinking back about previous meals. It was November of 2019.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I know all about it. Yeah.
when you think about it, that's 3 years, and so not be able to play football. We had a shortened season 2 years ago when you got 3 games in. Last year, it just seemed like we were trying to rebound and recover from that. And I still think we have some residual effect from that. The kids aren't bad when they're in school. They're not discipline problems in here.
Right.
But when we get on the field, I think we've kind of lost some of that. We want to be so competitive and we want to be so after it that we forget where we're at sometimes.
Yeah. Do you guys lose people to transfers to other schools? Is that an issue that you have in your area when you were talking about kind of finding some uh,
No,
consistency?
no, we have a kid who's playing down at St. Francis,
Mhm.
um, but you can't compete with that.
Right.
And so when Andre came to me and said he was going to St. Francis, I wished him well. Um, but we did just get one of our baseball players back who was at St. James transfer. He transferred back in the north, and he's a really good athlete. But not to the point where you can't move around schools in Washington County like that.
Yeah.
So that doesn't impact, not like it does in Martinsburg area.
Yeah.
How that kind of impacts everything.
Yeah.
So
Kind of the Wild West there a little bit.
yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Wild West here in Florida as well. So what's your, what's the go-to, the keys for you offensively and defensively coming into this week against Jefferson?
Well, I think offensively we got to be consistent. We got to stay in front of the chains. We're finding ourselves too many times in third and 8 plus. Um, we can throw the ball, but we're not as consistent as it. So we have to be able to run the football. We got to be able to keep the ball out of our best offense. Our best defense is really having a really good offense and maintaining control of the football, and that's been a point of emphasis this week. Is that we have to be able to grind the game into a running game, control the ball, and maintain so that we can't have Jefferson on the field. They have so many athletes, so they have so much speed, and it's hard for us to compete with that. But like I said, the best or the best defense is a really good offense. So
Yeah,
that's the point.
sure. So what are you guys trying to do to kind of keep that speed in check defensively?
Well, Jefferson gives us some unique challenges in the fact that they have two quarterbacks. They have a quarterback who can run the ball really well, and they got a slinger. And so the way we're kind of approaching it is if we get the slinger, we're going to play at one side of the defense, and if we get the runner, we're going to play it a little differently.
Right,
We're going to zone it up and keep him contained because he can run the ball really well.
right.
Really, and he's got speed himself.
Yeah.
So we can kind of keep him under control and keep him in the pocket or keep him, from breaking out. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, it gets a little tough to prepare knowing, that there's a potential to have two quarterbacks playing. Do your kids like playing on the road or at home? You had a big road win last week.
Well, this is our third week in a row that we're on the road.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
So you
So
haven't played a home game yet.
we had one.
Oh, you called it.
Our very first game was a home game, but we've been on the road the last 2 weeks. This is week three. Um, but then we come back. We're home for four.
Mm,
So
okay.
um, yeah, traveling's a little different. It's so many other different things to worry about. Whether everybody's got everything they need, and whether you brought everything that you got to have on the sideline because you can't come back to school.
Mhm.
Um, Making sure the kids have everything they need, making sure that they're fed before we leave. It just adds a little different dynamic to
Yeah.
different things.